Hello guys. So actually in this video we'll talk about the fixed overhead variance. Especially it is the variance analysis chapter, cost variance analysis. So in this it is the USCMA part 1 unit 15. So in the unit 15 today topic is the fixed overhead. So first of all we understand first of all will be study about the some definitions which is related in the productions department for the variance and understanding. So productions overhead, in the production overhead is like those all the overhead. First of all we are understanding about the overhead means that all those costs which is indirectly, okay, apart from the direct material or direct labor, those all the costs which is coming in the manufacturing area or the production area, that is called overhead. So that's one is written here. So productions overhead means consist of the all cost of the manufacturing that are not direct material or direct labor. Okay, so that is the productions overhead. So in that variable overhead cost, so variable overheads you already know that include indirect material, indirect labor, utilities and any depreciation expenses under the any method that ties depreciation to the level of the outputs. So that means those are all the indirect cost or any depreciations for that particular areas under the any method that we have deducted for that particular level of the productions, that is considered as a variable cost. Okay, depreciation could be the fixed, but for that particular period it could be the variable. Here is a fixed cost. Fixed overhead is talking about the fixed overhead means that like the include all the real estate taxes, insurance, rent and depreciation expenses under any method that you have not related to the level of the outputs. So cost of the defective units, if normal, are not charged to overhead, but especially will be study here only the fixed cost. So fixed cost, under the fixed cost will be study about the fixed overhead under variable costing. So under the variable costing, the fixed overhead we will discuss. Then the are recorded as a period cost. It is recorded as a period cost, and even that the period cost, it is for the particular period is only, not as a product cost. So variance is equal to will be difference. The variance will be difference between actual fixed overhead cost minus budgeted. So from here our topic is started. Fixed overhead under the variable costing. So fixed overhead means variance here will be the total fixed overhead, you can be say, or either the actual fixed overhead cost, total wherever you can be used, but the actual fixed overhead cost and budgeted fixed overhead cost. So that will be so, and only expenditure variance will be arise. Only expenditure variance will be arise here, just saying that. So variance means you already knows that what is the difference. It is just on a difference between actual overhead and the budgeted overhead, right? So here is saying that if actual is higher and the budgeted are lower, then it is really unfavorable. And if actual is a lower cost, definitely cost supposed to be, if the cost is lower than the expected one, then it will be the favorable, good for the company. So fixed overhead under the absorption costing. Under the absorption costing, which one we are studying in the we have a study in unit number 18, right? On that unit number 18, so in that unit 18 we have a study about that how the fixed cost absorption, what is the absorption costing and the variable costing. So here we are under the fixed overhead under understanding are recorded as a, there is a thing that they are recorded as a product cost, as a cost, and I assume you have idea about the absorption costing. And here's the thing that you already know when you will be if you have not the idea, then you can be go on the unit number 18 on that, and you can see that chapter, that topic, to understand what is the absorption costing is. Okay, so total fixed overhead cost, total fixed overhead variance under and over absorption fixed overhead cost. So spending and expenditure, here is saying that the difference of actual fixed overhead and budgeted fixed overhead, and in the volume there is saying that is related about the capacity or the variance. So fixed overhead capacity variance and fixed overhead efficiency variance. So the difference between the applied or budgeted one, okay, that is could be the variance. So that is the figure is only, but we can be see here in the note. The note is written here. The note is saying overall we need to learn three calculation of the fixed overhead: actual overhead, budgeted overhead, and applied overhead. So in the case first, if overhead are absorption based on hour, the labor and machine hour. Okay, there could be the labor and machine hour. So if there is a based on the absorption, so it is the case one. So actual overhead is equal to total actual overhead and means the actual output into actual hours. So whatever the output you have, multiply with the hours, you will get the, and then you will get the total hours, how many you have in how many hours you have spent to complete that particular product. And thereafter you can see that the actual fixed overhead rate is saying, so fixed overhead, if you multiply that particular with that our total hours, you will get the actual fixed overhead total fixed overhead you will get on this side. The same way in the budgeted you can also calculate. So budgeted output will be the multiply with the budgeted hours, and then you will be multiply with the budgeted rates, and you will get the your amounts. And the second one is saying that the applied one. So applied means like it's a flexible budget is saying, no, same flexible overhead. So will be applied overhead will be multiplied with the total standard hours. It will be so actual hours into the standard hours. You will multiply then you will get the total hours, and then you will multiply with the budgeted hours. Then you will get the total amount. So here, if in case this budgeted hour rate you have to be calculated, then you will be use ORR equal to ORR you will use equal to total budgeted hours, fixed overhead hours, and the cost divided by hours, whatever the total budgeted hours are. So you will get the ORR. Okay. Here in the case 2 is saying that if overhead are absorption based, okay, based units of output, that was the volume, and this one is an output. So you will get the total of actual overhead is equal to actual outputs, actual units into actual the overhead rate, whatever the rate is, then you will multiply with that. The same you will do for the budgeting. You will get the multiply with the budgeted rate, and you will get the amounts. And applied, you will be multiply with the actual units into budgeted fixed overhead, and you will get that. And if in case it is not available, then you will be use the budgeted cost, budgeted outputs. Okay, so this is the way you can be just calculate. And here is in a figure is also said actual overhead, budgeted overhead, and applied overhead. So by this figure you can be analyze that spending, expenditure, budgeting variance, and volume variance equal to total fixed overhead variance, amount of under or over applied fixed overhead. So these are this one, and also called the ideal capacity variance or denominator level variance. So volume variance, for the volume variance, spending variance, same here is this one is when it will be favorable and when it will be unfavorable. So we are just saying that the total fixed overhead variance under on over absorption of overhead. So actual overhead is equal to, you will see there is if it is higher, then it will be actual overhead is higher, then it will unfavorable, and if it is lower, then it is favorable. Okay, so you can see here under the note here is written that under variable costing only spending variance is required. So you understood? Sorry. Okay. Under the variable costing, you understood here is saying is that only spending variance is required, and under absorption costing both spending and the volume variance are required. Okay. So under the absorption costing, what is it? Both volume and spending variance are required. Note again the another note saying that the production's volume variance typically not the fault of production functions. Sales staff often is blamed rewarded. So if sales are greater than the expected, productions increase and variance may be favorable, and unfavorable volume variance may be caused by low sales, fault of sales staff, or may be production shutdown or natural disaster. So in this case, the variance is absolutely attributable to actions of the general administrations of the entity or the uncontrollable extra factors of the industry. Okay, so uncontrollable factors sometimes is happening in the natural disasters, as that could be the one example of that. So this was a video of the fixed overhead, how it's working. I mean, what is the fixed overhead variance is calculating in the USCMA part 1, unit number 15. So you will be understand by this one. You can be just use the all the videos. I mean, you can be pause and take all the notes if you need, and then you can be made easily. Okay, so now we'll become with the another topic in the another videos. Till that time, goodbye.